You're standing on a rock hurtling through space at 67,000 miles per hour, and you can't even feel it. That's just the beginning of what makes this planet absolutely mind-blowing. Hello guys, today we're going to explore hundreds of amazing and real facts about Earth. From boiling rivers hidden in the jungle to crystals the size of telephone poles underground. This planet is so much stranger and more incredible than most people realize. Stick around, every single one of these is 100% real. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video like this. Fact 1. Right now, every second, around 100 lightning bolts strike somewhere on Earth. That's nearly 8 million strikes every single day. Some of these bolts are hotter than the surface of the sun, reaching temperatures of 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Fact 2. There is a place on Earth where it hasn't rained for over 2 million years. It's called the dry valleys of Antarctica. The air there is so dry and cold that moisture simply cannot form. Scientists say the soil is so lifeless. It closely resembles the surface of Mars. Fact 3. Every breath you take likely contains atoms once breathed by dinosaurs. Air doesn't disappear, it recycles. The molecules in our atmosphere have been here for billions of years, constantly moving and mixing. Fact 4. Beneath the ocean, there are mountains taller than Mount Everest, but you can't see them. The mid-ocean ridge is a massive underwater mountain chain stretching over 40,000 miles around the globe. It's the longest mountain range on Earth, yet it remains hidden beneath the sea. Fact 5. Humans can survive weeks without food and days without water, but only minutes without oxygen. Yet, Earth's oxygen supply is incredibly fragile. Around half of it is produced not by forests, but by tiny ocean organisms called phytoplankton. Fact 6. Earth is radioactive, and that's actually a good thing. About 40 terawatts of heat constantly flow from Earth's interior, and half of it comes from the radioactive decay of elements like uranium and thorium buried deep in the rock. Our planet is its own nuclear reactor. Fact 7. If you want to find the world's longest mountain range, don't look at a map of land. Look underwater. The mid-ocean ridge stretches over 40,000 miles across the ocean floor. More than 4 times longer than the Andes, Rockies, and Himalayas combined. Fact 8. Everyone knows Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on Earth, but that depends on how you measure. When measured from the ocean floor, Hawaii's Mauna Kea stands 30,610 feet tall, easily beating Everest's 29,032 feet. Everest just gets to start counting from a higher base. Fact 9. And here's another mountain myth to bust. The point on Earth closest to outer space isn't Mount Everest. It's Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador. Because Earth bulges at the equator, Chimborazo's summit is actually 3,967 miles farther from Earth's center than Everest Peak. Fact 10. There's a river in the Peruvian Amazon where the water temperature reaches close to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cook an animal alive if it falls in. No volcano is nearby to explain it. Scientists believe deep geothermal energy is responsible. It's called the Timpishka. Fact 11. In Mexico's Naica mine, there's a cave filled with crystals so massive they look fake. Some of the gypsum pillars are over 30 feet long and weigh up to 55 tons. They grew over 500,000 years in superheated, mineral-rich water. They are the largest natural crystals ever found. Fact 12. There's a single cave in Vietnam, Hang Son Doong, so enormous that a Boeing 747 jumbo jet could fly inside it. It has its own weather system, its own jungle, and clouds that form inside the cave. NASA explorers have actually used it to simulate alien planet conditions. Fact 13. Under a forest in Oregon, there lives a single organism covering over 2,400 acres. It's not an animal or a plant. It's a fungus called Armillaria ostoyae, nicknamed the humongous fungus. It's estimated to be around 8,000 years old, making it one of the oldest and largest living things on Earth. Fact 14. In a teaspoon of ordinary backyard soil, you'll find roughly 1 billion microscopic organisms. Not visible, not threatening, just silently living inside the dirt you walk over every single day. The number of microbes in your garden likely exceeds the human population of Earth by billions of times. Fact 15. Forget the Amazon rainforest producing Earth's oxygen. The real factory is the ocean. Phytoplankton, tiny microscopic organisms floating at the ocean's surface, are responsible for producing about 50 to 80% of all the oxygen on Earth. Every other breath you take came from the sea. Fact 16. The Pacific Ocean is so large, it covers more surface area than all of Earth's land combined, every continent, every island, every country. and it still has room left over. If you try to drive across it ignoring the water, it would take years. Fact 17. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest known point on Earth at about 36,000 feet. If you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be over a mile underwater. We've explored less of our own ocean floor than we have the surface of Mars. Fact 18. 90% of all living space on Earth is found in the ocean, and 94% of all life on Earth is aquatic. We think of land as full of life, but everything on land, every human, animal, insect, and tree, represents just 6% of Earth's living things. Fact 19. Earth is radioactive, and it generates its own power. The planet releases about 40 terawatts of heat energy continuously from its interior. To put that in perspective, all of humanity currently uses about 18 terawatts of power. Earth generates more than double our total global energy use from inside itself. Fact 20. Clouds aren't just fluffy decorations in the sky. They are active temperature regulators. Without clouds, Earth's average surface temperature would be about 13 degrees Fahrenheit hotter. That's the difference between pleasant summers and a world resembling the inside of a car parked in July in Phoenix. Fact 21. The Yellowstone supervolcano in Wyoming isn't just a famous national park. It sits inside a 44-mile-wide volcanic caldera. It last erupted 630,000 years ago, and when it goes again, the explosion could be 1,000 times more powerful than the 1980 Mount St. Helens eruption. Fact 22. 9 out of 10 earthquakes on the entire planet, and 75% of all its volcanoes, occur along one geological zone, the Pacific Ring of Fire. This 25,000-mile horseshoe of tectonic activity wraps around the Pacific and includes the US West Coast, Alaska, Japan, and the Philippines. Fact 23. Australia is literally running away. The entire continent drifts northward at about 2.8 inches per year, fast enough that GPS systems in Australia have to be recalibrated every few years. Between 1994 and 2016 alone, it moved nearly 5 feet. Fact 24. 1 billion years ago, a day on Earth lasted only about 18 hours. The moon's gravitational pull has been slowly putting the brakes on Earth's spin ever since. Every century, Earth's day gets about 1.4 milliseconds longer. So technically, you have less time each day than ancient dinosaurs did. Fact 25. There's an actual optical illusion on our planet that looks like an undersea waterfall, and it's visible from space. Off the southwest coast of the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean, ocean currents carry sand and silt off a shallow shelf, creating a stunning, convincing waterfall effect plunging into the deep. Fact 26. There is a meadow of seagrass off the coast of Spain that scientists believe is up to 100,000 years old. The Posidonia oceanica meadow has survived ice ages, rising seas, and everything in between. It may be among the oldest living organisms on the planet, and most people have never heard of it. Fact 27. Every second, lightning strikes Earth about 100 times. That's 6,000 times per minute, 8.6 million times a day. Right now, while you're watching this video, lightning is striking the planet thousands of times. Despite the frequency, your lifetime odds of being struck are actually about 1 in 15,000. Fact 28. The ozone hole over Antarctica, one of the most alarming environmental disasters of the 20th century, is slowly healing. After the Montreal Protocol banned ozone-destroying chemicals in 1987, the hole has been gradually recovering. Scientists expect it to fully close sometime around 2066. Fact 29. Here's a creepy one. Earth is home to an estimated 10 nonillion viruses. That's a 10 followed by 31 zeros. For comparison, there are only about 200 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. There are more viruses on this planet than there are stars in the observable universe. Fact 30. Beneath the seafloor, life goes far deeper than anyone expected. Scientists have discovered living microorganisms as deep as 1.5 miles below the ocean bottom, thriving in extreme heat and pressure with no sunlight. These organisms represent what some scientists call the deep biosphere, a completely hidden world of life. Fact 31. Earth isn't actually shaped like a sphere. It bulges outward at the equator and flattens slightly at the poles due to its spin, making it an oblate spheroid. The equatorial diameter is about 27 miles wider than the polar diameter, so Earth is technically a slightly squashed ball. Fact 32. Gravity on Earth isn't uniform. It varies depending on where you stand. You weigh slightly more near the poles than at the equator, and there's even a region in Hudson Bay, Canada, where gravity is measurably weaker than the global average, partly due to the slow rebound of land from ancient glaciers. Fact 33. Earth has experienced 5 massive extinction events in its history. The worst, called the Permian extinction, or the Great Dying, happened 252 million years ago and wiped out approximately 90% of all species on Earth. It makes the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs look minor in comparison. Fact 34. The Tibetan Plateau holds so much ice and fresh glacial water outside the polar regions that scientists call it Earth's third pole. It's 46,000. Plus, glaciers are the largest freshwater reserve outside the Arctic and Antarctic, and they supply fresh water to nearly 2 billion people across Asia. Fact 35. Antarctica holds about 70% of all fresh water on Earth and 90% of all the world's ice. If every bit of it melted, sea levels would rise by roughly 200 feet, enough to completely submerge cities like Miami, New York, and London. The ice sheet is up to 3 miles thick in places. Fact 36. Rogue waves, massive walls of water in the open ocean, were considered sailors' myths for centuries. Scientists now know they're real, occasionally reaching 100 feet in height. One confirmed rogue wave, recorded in 1995 off Norway, was 84 feet tall and appeared out of nowhere in calm seas. Fact 37. Every single year, hundreds of millions of tons of desert dust from Africa's Sahara Desert blow across the Atlantic Ocean and land in the Amazon rainforest. That dust contains phosphorus and other nutrients that literally fertilize the Amazon and help keep one of the most biodiverse ecosystems on Earth alive. Fact 38. The Danakil Depression in Ethiopia is one of the most alien-looking places on Earth. Bubbling acid pools, neon yellow sulfur fields, and active lava lakes. Temperatures can hit 145 degrees Fahrenheit. NASA astrobiologists actively study it as a model for what life might look like on Mars or Jupiter's moon Europa. Fact 39. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Scientists estimate Earth has approximately 3 trillion trees. The Milky Way? Roughly 200 to 400 billion stars. That's right, there are about 7 to 8 times more trees on this one planet than stars in our entire galaxy. Fact 40. Earth is the densest planet in the solar system. Despite not being the biggest, Earth packs more mass per unit of volume than any other planet, including gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn. Our planet's dense iron-nickel core is largely responsible for this title. Fact 41. Fresh water makes up only 2.5% of all the water on Earth. Of that tiny fraction, about 69% is locked away in glaciers and ice caps. Only 0.3% of all Earth's water is available in liquid surface form, rivers, lakes, and streams, for us to actually use. Fresh water is extraordinarily rare on a planetary scale. Fact 42. The Atacama Desert in South America is so dry that some of its weather stations have never recorded a single drop of rainfall. There are regions of the Atacama that haven't seen measurable precipitation in over 400 years. NASA uses parts of it to test Mars rovers before sending them to the actual red planet. Fact 43. Earth's inner core doesn't spin exactly in sync with the rest of the planet. Scientists discovered that the solid iron inner core rotates at a slightly different speed than the outer layers. In 2023, studies suggested it had even temporarily slowed and may be oscillating, a discovery that rewrote our understanding of Earth's interior. Fact 44. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, yet they are home to roughly 25% of all marine species on Earth. In terms of biodiversity, a coral reef is the rainforest of the ocean. The Great Barrier Reef alone is larger than the United Kingdom and visible from space. Fact 45. Sound travels about 4.3 times faster through water than through air. In air, sound moves at roughly 1,125 feet per second. Underwater, it can exceed 4,900 feet per second. This is why certain whale species can communicate across hundreds, sometimes thousands, of miles of open ocean. Fact 46. The moon is slowly leaving us. Every single year, Earth's moon drifts about 1.5 inches farther away due to tidal energy transfer. In about 600 million years, the moon will appear too small in the sky to cause total solar eclipses. We're living in a rare window when they're even possible. Fact 47. In the Gulf of Mexico, there's a dead zone, an oxygen-depleted stretch of water where almost nothing can live. It's caused by agricultural runoff carrying nitrogen and phosphorus from Midwestern farms down the Mississippi River. At its peak, this dead zone has grown larger than the entire state of New Jersey. Fact 48. Earth's atmosphere doesn't just stop at the sky. It technically extends thousands of miles into space. The outermost layer, called the exosphere, reaches about 6,200 miles from Earth's surface. In fact, the Moon technically passes through the farthest reaches of Earth's atmosphere during its orbit. Fact 49. Deep in the Pacific Ocean, there's a spot called Point Nemo, the most remote location on Earth. It's over 1,600 miles from the nearest land in any direction. The closest humans to Point Nemo at any given moment aren't on land. They're astronauts on the International Space Station, orbiting 250 miles above it. Fact 50. And the last fact is perhaps the most humbling of all. Humans have only existed for about 300,000 years. Earth is 4.5 billion years old. If you compressed Earth's entire history into a single 24-hour day, human civilization wouldn't appear until the final 4 seconds before midnight. We are the newest guests on a very, very old planet. Fact 51. Beneath Yellowstone, scientists found a massive magma reservoir stretching across multiple states. It's not just one chamber, it's a complex system. Yet most of it is solid rock, not liquid lava, which is why it hasn't erupted despite the massive heat below. Fact 52. The Amazon River once flowed in the opposite direction. Millions of years ago, it drained into the Pacific Ocean. The rise of the Andes Mountains blocked its path, forcing it to reverse and become the eastward flowing giant we know today. Fact 53. There's a place in California's Death Valley called Badwater Basin that sits 282 feet below sea level, the lowest point in North America. Yet just 85 miles away stands Mount Whitney, the highest peak in the contiguous United States. Fact 54. Earth's rotation is slowly changing due to melting ice. As glaciers melt and water redistributes, it subtly shifts the planet's mass, slightly altering the speed and wobble of Earth's spin, something scientists can actually measure. Fact 55. The deepest cave on Earth, Veryovkina Cave in Georgia, drops over 7,200 feet. That's deeper than many skyscrapers are tall. Exploring it takes days, and parts of it are so dangerous that rescue missions are extremely difficult. Fact 56. Earth has natural nuclear reactors. In Gabon, Africa, scientists discovered uranium deposits that spontaneously underwent nuclear fission about 2 billion years ago, long before humans ever built a reactor. Fact 57. The Himalayas are still growing. Due to the collision between the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates, Mount Everest rises about 4 millimeters every year. The tallest mountain on Earth is still getting taller. Fact 58. There's a hidden ocean beneath Earth's surface. Scientists discovered a vast reservoir of water locked inside minerals about 400 miles underground. It may contain more water than all of Earth's surface oceans combined. Fact 59. Lake Baikal in Siberia is the deepest and oldest freshwater lake on Earth. It holds about 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh water and is over 25 million years old, older than many mountain ranges. Fact 60. Earth's continents were once a single supercontinent called Pangaea. Around 200 million years ago, it began breaking apart, slowly drifting into the continents we recognize today. Fact 66. Earth's core is mostly iron, similar to the metal in your bloodstream. The iron in your body was forged in ancient stars, meaning parts of you literally came from space. Fact 67. The longest cave system in the world, Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, stretches over 400 miles, and scientists are still discovering new passages. Fact 68. There are more than 1,500 active volcanoes on Earth. Many of them lie underwater, constantly reshaping the ocean floor without us ever seeing it. Fact 69. Earth's oceans contain enough salt that if evenly spread over land, it would form a layer more than 500 feet thick. Fact 70. The fastest wind speed ever recorded on Earth was 253 miles per hour during a tropical cyclone in Australia. That's faster than most race cars. Fact 71 isn't actually green. It's mostly covered in ice. The name was likely chosen by early settlers to make the land seem more appealing. Fact 72. Earth's tilt is responsible for seasons. Without that 23.5-degree tilt, we wouldn't have summer or winter, just a constant climate year-round. Fact 73. There's a place in Venezuela called Lake Maracaibo where lightning strikes almost every night. It's one of the most active lightning hotspots on the planet. Fact 74. Earth's crust is thinner than you might think. In some places, it's only about 5 miles thick, like the thin skin on an apple compared to the whole fruit. Fact 75. The largest living structure on Earth is the Great Barrier Reef. It's so massive, it can be seen from space and stretches over 1,400 miles. Fact 76. Earth has singing sand dunes. In places like Morocco and China, Shifting sand can produce deep, humming sounds that echo across the desert. Fact 77. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit in Antarctica. That's cold enough to freeze exposed skin in minutes. Fact 78. Earth's magnetic field protects us from solar radiation. Without it, harmful particles from the sun could strip away our atmosphere over time. Fact 79. There's a place in Canada where you can stand in 2 time zones at once. The boundary cuts through land, letting you literally step between hours. Fact 80. Earth's oceans are constantly moving due to tides, currents, and winds. These movements help regulate global climate by distributing heat around the planet. Fact 81. The largest desert on Earth isn't the Sahara, it's Antarctica. A desert is defined by low precipitation, and Antarctica is the driest continent. Fact 82. Earth's atmosphere is made up of about 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen, with trace gases making up the rest. That tiny balance is what makes life possible. Fact 83. There are underwater waterfalls caused by differences in water density. These falls can be larger than any waterfall on land. Fact 84. Earth's orbit around the Sun isn't a perfect circle, it's slightly elliptical, meaning our distance from the Sun changes throughout the year. Fact 85. The oldest rocks on Earth are over 4 billion years old, giving scientists clues about the planet's earliest days. Fact 86. Earth has natural mirror lakes, so still they perfectly reflect the sky, creating illusions where it's hard to tell up from down. Fact 87. The jet stream is a fast-moving air current that influences weather patterns across continents, especially in North America and Europe. Fact 88. There are places on Earth where gravity is slightly weaker or stronger due to variations in mass distribution beneath the surface. Fact 89. Earth's oceans absorb about 30% of the carbon dioxide humans produce, helping slow climate change, but also making the water more acidic. Fact 90. The tallest waterfall in the world, Angel Falls in Venezuela, drops over 3,200 feet, nearly 20 times taller than Niagara Falls. Fact 91. Earth experiences about 500,000 detectable earthquakes every year, but most are too small for humans to feel. Fact 92. The continents are moving at about the same speed your fingernails grow, slow, but constant over millions of years. Fact 93. There are rivers beneath glaciers, flowing under miles of ice in places like Antarctica and Greenland. Fact 94. Earth's sky appears blue because shorter wavelengths of sunlight scatter more in the atmosphere, a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. Fact 95. Some bacteria on Earth can survive extreme conditions like boiling water, freezing ice, and even radiation levels that would kill most life. Fact 96. Earth has natural arches and bridges formed by erosion, some of which take thousands of years to shape. Fact 97. The planet's rotation causes the Coriolis effect, which makes storms spin differently in the northern and southern hemispheres. Fact 98. Earth's land is constantly being recycled through plate tectonics. Old crust sinks, while new crust forms at mid-ocean ridges. Fact 99. There are places where rivers boil, lakes freeze solid, deserts sing, and lightning never stops. Proof that Earth is far from ordinary. And here's the final truth: everything you've seen, every mountain, ocean, storm, and life form exists on a thin layer of rock and air floating through space. Earth isn't just home. It's a rare, fragile miracle. If you enjoyed this video and found these facts fascinating, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content like this. Your support really helps us bring more incredible stories and discoveries to you. Let me know in the comments which facts surprised you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to stay connected and join our growing community. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.